good.
You're on. Keep going. A little more forward. What's up, guys? My name is Andrew.
And I'm Justin.
And today we are back with the Opel GT. Today we are going to be doing a water pump on the car. Should be a pretty fun job. Justin, how in-depth do you think this job's really going to be?
I think it's going to be all right. I mean, it's not going to be too crazy. It's going to be involved taking the radiator out, all the hoses off, draining the whole coolant system, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult from stuff that we've already done in this car. Starting to find the groove of what this car is.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to basically be working on today, guys. So without further ado, guys, come along, join us on the ride, and let's get this water pump done on the Opel GT.
All right, so we're changing out the water pump today. The reason we're changing the water pump out is because the bearings in the water pump are being very noisy, so it's leading me to believe that it's bad, which it probably is. So we have to go about getting to the water pump, which we have down in here in the engine bay. To get to that water pump, we have to take apart a couple of things. To get to there, we have to take off the top radiator hose, the bottom radiator hose that's underneath the radiator. We have the fan shroud that basically guards the fan blade when it's spinning. We have to take the fan off. There's 4 bolts holding the shroud on. There's 4 bolts holding the fan on, and then there's 6 bolts holding the water pump on. So we have to get through all that to get to the water pump, replace the water pump in the seal, and then put everything back together. Hopefully it all goes back together smoothly. All right, so right here we took the 13 millimeter radiator bolt out that we have to take out down here. It's right underneath like the cross member where the leaf spring mounts, and has a bracket right there that holds the radiator in place. And so we have to take that bolt out so we can get the radiator out. So we got the radiator out, we got the fan shroud out, we got the belt out right here. So now we're working on getting the actual fan off and then getting the actual water pump out. We're moving along pretty quickly, not many issues. The radiator drained pretty well. All the bolts came out pretty well so far. There's a little bit of mishaps. I guess someone worked on this car before and they replaced the shroud fan bolts with different bolts, 9 millimeter bolts, which are real strange, but we'll get some new Phillips head bolts and replace it, and it'll be good to go. All right, so now that we got the radiator, the fan, the shroud, everything pretty much out of the engine bay except for the water pump. Here is our old water pump here, and you can hear it. I don't know if the mics can pick it up, but you can hear how rough that is. So that's what's wrong with the water pump. So now we have to undo the 2 hoses here, 2 hose clamps here. There's going to be 6 bolts around the whole water pump here. This is going to come off. We're going to scrape the old gasket off. We're gonna put the new gasket on, new water pump, and then everything's gonna slowly go back in. We had a couple of rotted and rusty parts along the way. I'm gonna probably put them back for now, and then we'll have to go back in and replace them with better parts when I get them. But since we're trying to get the car to move today, I'm gonna have to make do what I have right now. All right, so we have the old water pump out of the car now. If you can see the impeller here, you can see some of them the grooves are good, and then some of them are all gunked up and started to erode, and they probably, all that nastiness started seeping down into the bearings, and you could hear that loud chattering. So the water pump isn't really doing its job. So now that we got it off, we could replace it with the brand new one that I got, and then we have to scrape all the old gasket, which is like that stuff coming off the motor, and then we'll put the new gasket on, put the new water pump on, put everything back in, and hopefully the car will run much better. All right, so this is the new water pump. As you can see, it looks brand new. We have no sounds. It's nice and firm. Everything seems to be moving nicely. It's not all loosey-goosey. We had already gotten the gasket sealer on there. We tacked it on with a little bit of like spray adhesive, and we stuck it on the motor so that way it's all lined up. So all we gotta do is line this up, put it in, put all our hoses on it, tighten everything down, and then our water pump will be installed. All right, so we got the new alternator pump on, solid. We got the new alternator belt on, solid. We got the old fan back on. We put the fan back on and it wasn't working, and we had to figure out why it wasn't working. Turns out there was a spacer, because on this model of engine, it came with the factory AC. Dealer air. So it came with a couple separate pulleys and a couple separate spacers to space it away from everything else so everything can ride smoothly. So after we found that out, we put that back on. Now everything is sitting there and spinning smoothly. Next step would be to do is put the shroud back on to guard the fan, and then we put the radiator back in, fill it with coolant, and we should be ready to start. All right, guys, so we got the radiator back in, even though we had to remove it and put it back in and out about 46 times. Not kidding, but kidding. After we've done that back and forth a bunch of times, we figured out to get the bottom pipe on the radiator that we actually had to loosen the top bolt here on the top of the water pump here. So the pipe and the tube going to the radiator had to basically swing right in. Since it has dealer air and not like your regular GT, it's a different pipe and it's a different way of going about putting it in, because from underneath the car, the oil filter is right in the way of where you need to put that pipe in. But we were able to get around it and figure it out after trial and error of about 2 hours. We didn't get that on film because it was raining while we were doing it, to add to the fun. So here we are about to fill it up with radiator fluid, put the cover back on, and we'll get this thing started. Oh, we got her, boys. What do I think? I can't get out of the car.
When you have a race car.
Just in
It's a mirror. It's a mirror.
All right, guys, so the Opel is here, and it's at my new shop. You guys haven't seen this yet, or maybe we've shown it in a clip or two, but this is the new shop. This is where we're gonna be working on the Opel and possibly a couple other cars and or motorcycles. So we're gonna get in here and check it out. All right, guys, so now as you can see, the Opel's in my shop here. basically with the last 3 months I've been working on this car is just basically be able to get it up to run and move so I can get it here. So now that it's here, now I can focus on ripping the whole car apart, basically everything. This whole car is going to get stripped apart. I'm going to put it on casters so I can move it around. This is going to be the little bay that it's in. And then we have these 2 open bays here. We can work on other stuff. Possibly Andrew's R, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, so this is where it's going to be. And you guys will come along for the ride for the whole trip.
Okay guys, so as you can see, this is the new garage. Justin, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And now the Opel is finally inside. We can work in an actual heated space, not freeze our off.
Yeah, I mean, when it has heat.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm currently working on getting the electric and the heat turned on, but we had to get this over here last night. So we did. And then now I got to work on getting the heat and electric turned on and make sure that heater over there works.
Oh, yeah.
And if not, I'm going to go buy a heater, but this is going to be the shop. I'm going to go buy it. You guys will see this whole thing will be outfitted with tools and such, because I have an addiction to tools.
Hey, you do love your tools, man. But yeah, so the Opel is currently in its new spot. Like Justin mentioned, he's gonna put this on casters so he can move it around the shop and all that stuff. We have 2 open bays here. Our friend Jamie, who also went in with Justin, he has a, what do you have again, Jamie? A Toyota 4Runner that he's going to be probably lifting and doing a bunch of other things. So if you guys are interested in seeing some 4Runner build stuff, let me know. We will definitely put some stuff like that on the channel if you guys want to see some 4Runner content. But so yeah, we'll have a bunch of different types of builds going on here. Kind of make it pretty different and a variety of things.
Everything.
You know, kind of want to make it a channel that there's a bunch of different type of content on here besides
Something
just
for everybody.
Yeah, besides just one thing.
I like working on everything. So.
Exactly, yeah. So guys, we're gonna end today's episode there. I wanted to show you guys the shop. Justin wanted to get his Opel in here and show you guys exactly what's gonna be happening. Currently, I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna be putting my R32 in here just because I do live down in Hoboken, New Jersey full time, and I'm not up here as often as I would like to be. So for me, it may not make 100% sense to come in and do the shop with them. I do currently have a space in my parents' garage, so I could always just use that. I'm still back and forth. I'm not entirely sure yet, so we're gonna see if maybe I get the R32 in here or not. Me and Justin and also Jamie have been considering if anyone wants to say bag their cars, you know, Volkswagens,
ours,
yeah, really anything, because bagging is pretty easy overall.
Yeah.
Me and Justin and Jamie said we'd be down to help you guys out, bag your cars. You know, we'll let you know
Within
if you.
reason, it'll take about a weekend.
Yeah, it'll take about a weekend to do. It would definitely be pretty similar to how we did the R32. Take the interior out, hide all the lines, do a really nice job on it, make it professionally
Or whatever you
done.
want.
Or whatever you want, really. It's whatever you guys want.
If you want to see stuff exposed, I could do stuff exposed. If you guys want it all hidden, I could hide it all.
Yeah, so that was kind of an idea that we had come up with. You know, it would just help pay the rent for the shop and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to hit me up, hit up Justin. I'll also put Jamie's Instagram down below if anyone is interested in hitting up Jamie too. We're open to working on guys' cars, and if you guys want to, come hang out with us. We're always down for it.
Hell yeah.
So guys, on that note, we're gonna end today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this Opel episode. We have the car running. It's at its new home now. Till next time, guys, my name's Andrew.
And I'm Justin.
See you guys in the next video.